Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Brian, along with my co host, Brett.
What's up?
So, we are here to talk about a new show that actually Brett found on Hulu. It's called Back in the Groove, 8 episodes. I think it premiered on December 5th, and then it went for the next week. I think that sounds right. We're a couple weeks behind, but I mean, Brett told us about it last week, and I got to give him credit. I really enjoyed this show. Just going in completely blind with no spoilers. Brett, since you found it, I want to know you're the one who told us about it. Give me your quick thoughts right off the bat.
No, I mean I enjoyed it. I guess going in, I didn't know what it was. It just kind of popped up on my Hulu, like new to Hulu thing or whatever, and I clicked on it, and then it was like three 40-year-old women go into a house full of dudes to date them. I'm like, this sounds kind of up the alley of shows we watch.
Right.
A little twist, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, sure, I'll watch it. And then the first episode, I guess I just was kind of hooked and pretty much binge watched all of them because they all got dropped right like the first or second week of December. I
Yep.
saw they were on there, so binge watched them all and was pretty entertained by it and just the characters, I guess, and just seeing what happens.
Yeah, it was. It really. And we were talking pre-show. There seems to be like a theme, like because MILF Manor's coming out, and in our chat, Brett, you said that you thought that this was the show, right, or something similar to that. Because
Yeah, well, so my dad, he had asked me like a week or two ago. He's like, "Hey, there's a show called like MILF Island. Are you guys going to cover that one too?" And I was
yeah,
like, "Well, I haven't heard of that, but we probably will."
yeah,
So,
right, right.
and I guess that he was probably referring to MILF Manor or something, but this is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, I didn't see any like commercials or like advertisements for the show at all. So like when you sent it, I was like back in the group. Like the title wasn't something that I thought would be reality. But
It was Back in the Groove with a picture of Tay Diggs on it.
yeah,
And I don't know if it really said anything else other than that. And you had to click the details, I guess, to see what it says.
right.
What does it say?
Yeah, so Brett, while he's looking that up, Tay Diggs is the host, and let me tell you, that's the easiest hosting gig of all time. You show up for the first episode for about 5 minutes, and then you show up for the finale for another 5 minutes, and he probably got the bag, and his name's just like plastered on it. Like if you look at the what Brett was saying, the icon or thumbnail on Hulu, it's just him.
Well,
And
it's him with the three women above
yep,
him.
yep, yeah.
And
So I
then
mean, good for him.
and then the details when I clicked on it, I guess I don't know. It looks like a MILF Island sort of deal when you look at the thumbnail, I guess.
It's very similar.
And so I clicked on it. I was like, oh, maybe this is it. It says 340 something women all stuck in the grind of their everyday lives check into the Groove Hotel, hoping to rediscover their youth, live joyously, and maybe find love with men half their age. Later, one of the young men makes a stunning admission, which
Right.
I guess was one of the big hook points on this was that you find out at some point there's like somebody has a secret on
Yes.
the show, which
Yes.
I guess are people watching this maybe like, hey, I'll check out the show, or they already watched it. So
So we'll get to
spoilers
that,
are
and yeah,
coming.
we'll give a spoil like, hey, we're about to spoil a major point, but I just want to real quick, let's meet the women just because they're the main characters of the show. Steph, she's 41, she's from Miami. She had recovered from breast cancer, and she said she had like some surgeries, and like I think she was like a little kind of said like she was like just self conscious of herself and like hadn't been with someone for a while, so like this was like a big step for her, and she alludes that like, oh, my son and was very supportive of me, blah blah blah. And like I said, we'll get to that later. Brooke, 42, she's from LA. She's like a personal trainer. Sparkle, 43, she's from ATL, and she was like they all like let's say like a beauty entrepreneur. So I don't know if she owns like a salon or um,
Yeah, she does hair.
hair or something like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I actually liked all three of the women. Like I thought they were all unique in their own way. Like thought they were funny at times. Like I, I enjoyed them. I don't know what were your thoughts?
No, I agree. I mean, they were all, interesting. I feel like, if I were, I mean, at first, I think at first glimpse, shit, I forgot her name, the Hispanic one. I was like, okay, yeah,
Steph.
she seems kind of cute, I guess. But then just like getting to see her a little more and then hearing from her, I personally didn't like her that much, just from like I wouldn't want to date her. And
Okay.
then I don't really see myself. I wouldn't want to date Sparkle either. But I mean, they seem like nice, fun people getting back in their groove. But I mean, Brooke definitely to me seemed like the person I would go for if I were on the show. So
Yeah, I mean, you like the like you like physical, like if she's like working out, like that seems like more your speed, right?
yeah, she was the only one on there that wasn't a mom. The other two
It's true.
basically got married at like 20 years old, had a
Yep.
kid, got divorced, and now are trying to find their groove. And she kind of did the opposite. She was very like career focused and doing the modeling thing, and just I guess time escaped her, and a couple bad relationships down the road, and even like a miscarriage, I guess. And here
Yep.
she is, 40 years old, still single.
hmm Yeah, she said that the miscarriage, like she was in a relationship and that broke it off, and it seemed like all of them went through something, and just like the shit title says, get back in the groove. I actually, my favorite was probably Sparkle, if I'm going to be completely honest. Um, but I mean, I enjoyed them all. Like I thought they were great. Like all had a great personality to me, and it's funny what guys they picked on dates. Like we're not gonna run through every single dude, but there's like a couple like standouts of like before we get to the standouts, my favorite character on the show is Pedro. What were your thoughts on Pedro?
Oh.
You didn't like Pedro?
I feel like they didn't use him enough. I thought he was pretty funny when they used him, and then they didn't use him enough. He just kind of was the guy that
He was the
showed up.
concierge.
Yeah, he's the concierge. He shows up. He's like, hey, it's time to check out, and then basically he's the Chris Harrison or whatever, where he pulls the women away, and then they go to like a rose type
Yep.
ceremony, and the last couple dudes they get to check out. And I guess the best part of that was each dude he'd say something funny to them, or he'd be
Yeah.
nice to them, or he'd be like, who the hell was that
Yeah,
guy?
yeah, right, right. I don't remember what the guy's name was, but he's like, I've never seen that guy in my life.
Yeah.
But
Which,
I
how
don't.
did you feel about that guy? Had you seen that guy before? Because I'm like, I have not seen him
I,
on the
I
show
was
either.
really trying to keep an eye on all the guys because like, we didn't meet everyone. Like there a lot. I'd say a majority of them had a confessional, but that dude did not have a confessional at all. So like it
There were
was
a
it,
few that
it
did
was a
not.
good joke.
Yeah, whether I'm on The Bachelor or a show like that, man, that would suck to go in and then you don't even get a confessional, and you're
Yeah,
just one of the dudes that like you see him in a few cut scenes, if that. Don't ever hear from him, don't know his name, and then all of a sudden he's just gone. And
right,
then the time that these guys did have a chance to talk with Pedro, they just didn't say anything and they just walked away.
right, right. Yeah, he always had a witty one liner. It definitely like I really enjoyed like how he'd like walk in and like I was saying from the episode one that he's like the Grim Reaper. And then somebody made a comment, like I think in like episode four, it's like, "Oh, Pedro, we've been calling him the Grim Reaper around here because he just like he would sneak up on somebody's dates, like it's time for checkout." And
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought they like I would have liked to see more of him, like more skits. Another thing I thought was the one thing
He's
I
on the
will
show
say,
more than Tay Diggs.
yeah, I mean he's probably doing like serious things. It's like just slap his name on it. But the one thing I thought was super weird about the show, now that I'm thinking about it, is they're like intermissions in episodes where they're like eating and crunching fruit and trying to make like fruit really sexual. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Super weird. And it's not like
I
they
mean,
had the girls
yeah,
doing it. They had the guy, like Pedro was doing
Pedro.
it.
Pedro's the comic relief. They
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
thrown it in there to make funny funny bits and pieces, I guess.
Right. So he was I think another bright star. I looked on IMDb. He's like credited, so I didn't look at everything else he does. But maybe he's in some other
Is that
thing.
his real name?
Yeah. So, um, and a couple of the guys. So like some of the weirdos that stuck out to me, like Lee. I kind of think that Lee was like that might have been some producer manipulation. What do you think?
Mm, for him to stick around or for him to
Yeah,
be
as
who he
long as he
was?
did.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't seem like the type of person that they necessarily would want to stick around. He was kind of weird at first, and I mean, he was weird the whole way through, but I liked him. I think his very first confessional, he just seemed very awkward
Yeah.
and out there, and I felt somewhat like relatable to that, I guess. And then the more you see him, I mean, he seemed like a nice, likable guy.
Yeah,
That
and I didn't dislike him. He was just very strange
yeah,
compared to like a lot of the people that you see on these shows. And they like
that's
and you would think
yeah.
that he'd be like one and doneer, and he stuck around a lot longer than I thought he would. And like I mean, he had something weird to say every episode, I thought. But Sparkle liked him.
He made it into her final three, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spoiler, sorry,
I mean, at this point, if you're watching this
whatever,
far,
whatever.
we're gonna be spoiling some things. Um, okay,
I mean, the biggest spoiler standing out is what do you think about Steven?
Yeah. So okay, Steven is Steph's son,
Yeah.
and
Did you peg that?
I didn't think it was going to be him. I actually thought it was going to be Sparkle's kid.
Oh,
And
really?
then
The moment they said Steven was the kid, somebody's kid, I was like, well, I mean, I guess you only have three to choose from, but I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Steph's son.
yeah, I thought it was Sparkle, but then like when they're standing next to each other, you can tell. What do I think of it? It's a funny like funny surprise. I just still think it's weird, especially with like the outcome and like how far he went. I think it's strange.
He went all the way.
Yeah. Um he and I'm wondering if like MILF Manor is gonna be that's like the thing is like they're all their kids and like it sounds really funny, but I think it gets super weird. Like if they were like making out and like, it just I don't know, it just
Well, I don't think Steven ever made out with Sparkle, but like
no, he
he just
didn't.
kind of came out of nowhere. It was almost like once she found out it was Steph's son, it's almost like she liked him more,
Yeah.
or just for like the TV drama perspective. Like, all right, you got to go Steven now. You got to drop Akio, who was the
Yeah.
other guy that she hit it off with at first.
Yeah, which I thought he was gonna stick around because I mean he was a cool dude too. Um
He seemed to have the best connection with her. I guess it seemed
yeah,
like
I that's what I thought too. So there was a couple times where I was just like, like what's really going on here? Like that's the same thing I thought. I mean you disagree a little bit, but like I thought Lee was like a producer sticking like
okay.
had some manipulation there.
The whole show could have been just producer
Well, I
manipulated.
mean,
Who
that's
knows?
I know a lot. I'm sure a lot of these shows we watch are definitely producer manipulated, but I don't want it to be that obvious where I'm like thinking about it. Like I don't find it believable.
I mean, like
Um,
Steph and Sparkle themselves both said they were just there to get back in the groove and have fun. So like the whole premise of the show itself was just kind of like
yeah, it's
a
loose.
joke.
Yeah,
So I mean, they're just like, oh, we're here to have fun and party. And I mean, Steph ended up, hitting it off with Leroy, and just basically dumped him in the end anyway, because I guess she was scared of him playing her, but just wanted to work on herself. And then Sparkle ends up deciding to date Steph's son,
mm,
and just some of the things they said too, I thought were really weird between Steph and Steven. As far as like I don't know,
like very
they,
friendly.
yeah, they were like very friendly and involved in like each other's like sex lives to an extent. So it just felt a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, she did say like since she had him so young. I mean, I can't speak on that because I mean my kids are 8 months old, so I don't have they can't even speak. But I haven't been in that situation. I don't know if that. I'm sure there's people like that on this on our planet. I
Would
just
you want to go on a show with your mother where she's dating
no,
a
no,
bunch of
absolutely
guys
not.
your age?
No, absolutely not.
No. Okay, there you
Absolutely
go.
not. No, I watch it. I don't want to participate in it. Uh, okay. Before we get to Brooke and like her guys, I want to talk about Luis. He was the married to a 59-year-old woman, and I need to like look up more about this guy. I haven't done it yet because
Yeah, you just
one,
made
I
me
want to see
think.
the woman he was married to,
He's married to.
and he had a lot of confidence for a dude that I didn't think was like that wasn't all that
Really?
because
I To me, he seems like almost sort of like a little bit like a Horacio, like we have on the challenge, like that type of guy. He seemed
yeah,
like
I
a
can see that.
athletic, good-looking guy, and I don't know. But
Like the reverse gold digger, I was thinking of him as he
I
was
didn't.
a
Yeah,
male gold digger.
yeah. I mean, well, I guess that's the vibe you kind of get is that he's a gold digger. But then I don't know. Some of the things he said made you just think like,
He
I don't
really
know. Maybe he
yeah
just really
he
is actually into. He's into these chicks, these older
yeah
chicks.
right
He said something about they're more his like speed or something.
yeah I mean I don't know I mean teach their own
They
um
match his energy.
right you know how I feel about the word energy when people are saying energy I just ugh. uh Hunter, he was another funny one. Didn't really see a lot of him except for one episode where he was kind of dealing with Brooke. He asked her like sex, like she was like, he's like, what's the something about sex position or something like that, and she's like, who? What is this dude? He was also wearing a Cougars. I would call it a baseball jersey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the Cougars across the top. Obviously, like he even said it like referring to obviously you call women who are hunting, who are trying to date younger men Cougars. She wasn't having it. because like I said, Luis got it. He didn't even make it to Pedro evicting. He just got kicked out, and Hunter kind of got blasted by Brooke too. He seemed like a dude that was just there to just be there.
It, I mean, yeah, I mean, just there to, he's not taking it too seriously. He's just there to see. I mean, when you go into the show too,
Mm,
I don't even know what these guys got cast for if they knew they were
right.
dating older women. But for Hunter, I mean, he had to have known. He brought a Cougar jersey, but
Yeah.
I'm sure he's like, oh yeah, Brooke's hot, so let's just see where this goes, and tries to have fun with it.
Mm.
And I mean, he just gives off instant fuckboy vibes.
Oh
Just
yeah, yeah,
his
yeah,
whole
yeah.
look, and the stupid little dangly earring shit he's got going on.
Mhm. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Um, and Luis, maybe when he saw the casting call for older women, I mean, he likes older women. I guess he thought they were older than
Yeah, he
40.
was like,
So
apply, 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 apply.
yeah.
What did you think of like the crew versus Josh T like feud?
I mean, I thought Josh was being jealous of Crew because I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
I guess instantly off the bat, Crew seems just kind of like a player, but I don't know. I ended up really liking Crew at the end. I thought he seemed like a really cool guy,
he
and
fell hard quickly.
yeah,
So that's like
yeah,
my
same.
only worry about things like that. And would you
Yeah,
get a tattoo that quickly with somebody?
probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably wouldn't. I mean, the only reason I would do it is just if I thought it would be good for TV, I guess. But other than that, I would have no reason to get a tattoo at all,
It's
ever.
permanent, man.
Yeah.
It's permanent. So Brooke eventually picks Crew. I mean, you never really thought that like the thing about her connection is once Josh was gone, I didn't think like
No
she
one
was
stood a
like a
chance.
lock.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
she already was kind of like leaning hard toward it was basically Crew versus Josh. And I
Yes.
thought they would both go very far and we're gonna see like some sort of, rivalry the entire
Yep.
season.
Me
But
same.
instead, she immediately just gets rid of Josh mid-season. I'm like, well, that was unexpected.
Yeah.
And
So it
then it
just kind of
became the
killed
Crew
the vibe
show.
there.
And then I guess she's like, well, at this point, I can't just go all in on Crew, so I got to talk to some other guys.
Yeah.
And she
So it's
brought
just
in,
like flavor of the week type of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, she brought in that one buff black guy. I forgot his name, but he seemed like a nice guy, but he just kind of got,
Yeah. I mean,
brought.
I think it was just too late. It was too late.
Same with the other dude who had zero screen time until that point, who kept licking his lips. You remember that guy?
I
And
don't remember
had
that.
a dangly earring too.
I don't remember that
He
guy.
was feeling himself. Um,
I'm sure a lot of that's how a lot of it was, but I wasn't really getting like
he's the one that
total,
cooked for her.
huh?
He's the one that cooked for her.
Oh, okay. All right. I remember that guy. Okay. Okay. And the thing about the show is like I wasn't getting like total F boy vibes like when we watch F Boy Island, where like these guys are like so into themselves. Like I thought a couple of guys were like that, but it wasn't like at least not in my face, which I don't have a problem with this viewer, but like it just was like it was a lighter version of F Boy Island to me. And you know how Bill and I feel about the show, we love it. But
I haven't seen it. So I don't know.
so okay. Do you have anything else to say about the show before we like kind of give our recommendations if it's worth the watch?
Probably not. Probably good.
So would you recommend this to a viewer?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend at least watching the first episode or two, and then I think at that point you can make your own decision of how you feel about it, because I think it pretty much keeps the same pacing throughout. Like if you're not interested in watching the second or third episode, then you're probably just not going to get into it the whole rest of the show. So, but it's worth a shot, I would say.
Yeah, I would recommend it if you like reality TV, if you like dating shows. I would give it two thumbs up. It's 8 episodes, 40 minutes each, not long. Like you can if you have a weekend or you need something to binge, I think it's worth it, especially if this is like your type of TV. I would do it. I mean, so you have
Get a free
our
trial.
same before. What?
Get a free trial if you
Yeah,
want
of
to.
course. Yeah, you can finish it in like a day. So I would check it out. I do you think there'd be a season two?
Probably not.
I think it
I
could.
mean, yeah, they could make one, but I also don't see like I don't know necessarily a drive to make a second season.
I didn't think that. Yeah, I guess to me like the budget, like where they were staying, it was nice, but like it wasn't like lavish life. Like
I mean,
I think it's
it's
possible.
on Hulu, so like I don't really know what the money making
Yeah.
thing is to create content. Um, I mean, like I know like other shows like Too Hot to Handle and stuff like that that kind of I guess like blew up. So they got second seasons on their platforms.
They got
But
like
like,
fifth seasons.
I don't know. Like, I don't see this necessarily as a show that's going to blow up simply because like there's no marketing behind it, I
That's
guess.
true. That's the thing about it. Like,
Yeah. And it's on
well,
Hulu. People have Netflix. They don't have Hulu. That's like, so
yeah, yeah. I mean, but you can get that Hulu bundle like with Disney Plus, ESPN. Like, not. I just think it's one of those streamers where you're not like, oh, I what did you do this weekend? I watch Hulu. It's like, oh, I watch Netflix. I watch HBO. It was like I feel like people have Hulu, but you don't be like, I that's all I watch is Hulu. But I could be wrong.
mhm.
But I give my recommendation. Brett is kind of he's given an approval, but
I
it's just
recommend
kind of like
it.
yeah. But I would check it out. It's definitely worth it. Um,
If you're watching this, you might as well watch that. I
exactly,
mean,
exactly. We try not to give everything away, just kind of give some plot points, but I definitely think you should check it out, especially if you're going to watch MILF Manor. This is a nice little warm up for MILF Manor because I think MILF Manor is going to be a little crazier than this. So
okay. Also,
check
do
it
you think
out.
it's going to be better? You think MILF Manor is going to be better?
I think
Because
it could just have
based off,
more like moments of like craziness.
I
So
don't really know anything about TLC, but I feel
yeah.
like TLC is like more corny, I guess. And then based off the picture I saw of all the MILFs, none of them really looked, you know, I don't know, that great.
Well,
So I don't know.
they could have the Skrillex. That's why. So check it out. We have a ton of content here. We try to review like Brett suggesting the show. We'll try anything out, give it a review. We have Bachelor, Amazing Race, Survivor, Challenge, anything on CBS, anything pretty much anything on MTV. We try to cover it. For myself and Brett, thank you for watching. Go enjoy Back in the Groove.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry
Safe,
Christmas, Happy
safe travels.
Holidays, whatever you celebrate. Thanks for watching. See you later.